And then we apply your criterion that you use to dismiss God, and then you run from your own criterion. What's the rational justification for the foundation of the things that you assert? The answer is nothing.
Yeah, I've agreed with you on that.
So it's game over. So whatever assertions you make, they are metaphysically unintelligible because there's no framework for it. No ultimate context, no framework. Then it's unintelligible metaphysically. Is it semantically apprehendable? Yeah, sure. I'm not talking about semantic apprehension. I'm talking about metaphysical intelligibility, that a fact means something. You cannot have a contextless fact. Okay? A fact is either dependent or non-dependent. Right? And if it is non-dependent, then it is ultimate and absolute, and it entirely explains itself. So if you invoke a fact that is dependent, then its intelligibility and its actuality and viability is going to be in virtue of what is ultimate and absolute. And if you say, well, the absolute is unidentifiable, or I don't know what it is, then you don't have a framework for facts. You know, and some people want to be so stupid as what London does. And he goes, there's an absolute, but I don't know what it is. And I go, yeah, but you know it's not the Christian God, right?
That is funny.
There's nowhere for you to turn other than to attempt a barrage of verbal misdirection and philoso-speak. But you see, because I have a good basic understanding of philosophy, I make no claim to expertise in the field of philosophy, but I have a basic grasp of philosophical concepts that I can hold my own with people like Alex Malpass, PhD. And he didn't do so well in the debate with me, in spite of the fact that he completely outranks me and outclasses me in terms of his academic achievement. And you know why? It's because he doesn't have a basis for anything either. And neither do you. But you want to blather on as though you had some philosophical ground to stand on, but you don't. Once you admit that you have no ground to stand on, then it's time to do one of two things. Either to say, yes, Lord Jesus, you are the ground of all being, right? Or you can sit there and be quiet. Because if you're not going to be quiet, whatever you say, I'm going to use against you. And I'm going to ask you, where did that come from? And your ultimate answer is, I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm still having a thought through, writing things down. Because obviously I'd like to go through all that stuff. My only question here is, I suppose, so saying that I accept, sure, that there has to be a personal absolute. What is the extra legwork to get it to be the Christian, specifically the Christian God? Because I don't see how it's necessarily
in order to have
exclusive.
in order to have intelligibility, you're going to have a personal absolute that has a property set that provides for intelligibility. That personal absolute is going to have to be omniscient, omnipotent, always truth revealing, and has a sovereign plan and a salvific plan to deal with the human predicament. And the Christian God is the only one that has that properties and attributes. And the Christian God is going to have an ontological makeup that provides for intelligibility, such as his unity and diversity. Because if you deny the Christian God's unity and diversity, then you're going to have to explain to me how your counterfeit God solves that problem. It's called the one and the many problem, which when people make appeal to monotheistic gods, okay, that are Unitarian in nature or monads, that doesn't solve the one and the many problem that needs to be solved in order to have intelligibility.
Could you quickly
The one of the many problem is, what is the ultimacy of reality? Is it in its oneness or not its oneness? What is the ultimacy of reality? Is it its oneness or manyness? Is its absoluteness in its unity or diversity? And this question needs to be answered. Okay? Because without answering the one and the many problem, you cannot have intelligibility. And the one and the many problem is solved in the triune nature of the Christian God, where the Christian God possesses his unity and diversity have equal ultimacy, and that is reflected in the creation that he made. Deny the triune God, and you're not going to be able to solve the one and the many problem. You don't solve the one and the many problem, and you have no basis for intelligibility.
And Duncan, I'm still lost in the one and the many. Can you explain that a little bit more? So
Yeah, when we ask, if we ask somebody, what is the ultimacy of reality? Is it in its oneness or unity, or is it in its plurality or diversity? What is the ultimate makeup of reality? That all is one and that distinctions are an illusion? Or is that diversity and plurality is the ultimacy and not one, and that we have disconnected particulars? Because in order to have intelligibility, you're going to have to tie the unconnected particulars together in some type of concrete universal. Because if you don't have a concrete universal, all you have is a plethora of unconnected particulars. And so you see, this cannot be solved by an appeal to other monadic monotheistic religions.
Do you get it now, Soldier?
I don't.
Can I make?
Yeah. All right. Listen. Let's take, for example, Hinduism. They say, God is one. All distinctions are an illusion. Therefore, distinctions are not real. They don't exist. Okay?
Soldier.
That makes sense what you said there, but what about so is the Christian God oneness and manyness, or what do you?
Yeah.
Okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah, so let me give you an example, Soldier. So let's say I present to you 3 chairs, right? They are diverse in the sense that they are, in the sense they're different chairs, but they have an underlying unity of being chair. And if you have an ultimacy of reality that is only absolutely one, only in his oneness, then our creation, what we see around us, actually reflective of that. So it couldn't be Allah, because what we see in the world, everything has unity, but also diversity, multiplicity. And that's solved with the Trinity, because the persons are distinct, but the being is one being. So the God of the Bible is infinite in his oneness, but also in his distinction, in his manyness. That's the way
Why do the pantheons not scratch this issue at all?
The pantheons or pantheists?
No, the pantheons, like Romans gods and Greek gods.
Because they're not gods. They're creatures. They're not even posited as the foundation of reality. These are material creatures.
Ooh,
and so you don't have intelligibility because you don't have a foundation that provides for the context for Zeus or any of these, polytheists. Even Zeus isn't ultimate in Greek mythology. He began, and he's also material. And there's going to be necessary properties that the foundation of reality has to